I'm gonna create my own opportunities to be weird.
I don't know how many years on this earth I got left. I'm gonna get real weird with it.
Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're diving into rSlash NeckbeardStories. And yes, it does actually come from rSlash NeckbeardStories, which is pretty cool. Yesterday we had a little bit of copyright drama. I am so sorry to the people who found this new ReddX video dropping, hopped into it immediately, and realized that it got copyright claimed. So it was delayed for about 30 minutes. It does seem like most of the regular watchers did end up watching it, but I just felt really bad and kind of like I dropped the ball. It was basically copyright claimed because of some Godzilla footage that I used in the background, which I know isn't that smart, but I figured I took the sound out, I was talking over it, and it worked in the first few videos, so I totally got blindsided. Just had to trim it out, so now the video is imperfect, which I hate, but it is up, it's getting views, and it won't matter for the full compilation when we get to that. But today we have a one-off, so let's see what it do. We'll go ahead and get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some neckbeard cringe. My friend, the neckbeard, his fake crazy pills, weaponized dandruff, and the monster that made him this way. Oh God, was it his mother? We always see a lot of like parents in the formation of beard stories, and I hope that we get that in this episode too. If we can figure out the origin, then maybe we can stop them. Anyways, there are two creatures in this double creature feature, Flake and Crusher. You'll see why I picked those nicknames soon enough, because one has flaky dandruff and the other crushed the dude's soul so he doesn't shower, so he has flaky dandruff. Never mind, I'm gonna let OP tell it. I'm gonna just be over here in the back. A bit of background to start. For the first half of my adolescence, I was what could easily be considered a loser. A shy, lanky kid with a perpetually dorky haircut who was far too into things like Dungeons and Dragons and Star Wars. A situation only made worse by a sudden divorce and a quick move to a new school district. That does make it rough, man. It sounds like you're a little older. Right now, nerd chic is totally a thing, but back in the days, yes. If you played Dungeons and Dragons or enjoyed Star Wars, you were mocked, somewhat mercilessly. I had only two other friends throughout elementary school, other dorks who knew to stick together. Once we got to junior high, we met Flake. An instant friendship started when we saw him spelling swear words with his food at lunch. Sounds like junior high school. He was a sweet, goofy theater kid with even sweeter parents. I considered them a second mom and dad. Well, there's a hole in my theory. The four of us were thick as thieves, and honestly, none of us were that weird at that time. Just unlucky enough to be the four poor kids at a school with weird districting lines that meant the school was mostly composed of wealthy families. The summer after 8th grade is when things started to change. I was blessed and had a hardcore glow up, which paired with the high school being in a different school district meant that I had a fresh start at a social life. Even though I suddenly found myself moderately popular once high school started, I'd been through too much with my childhood friends to just abandon them, even if I got the occasional side eye for hanging out with those weird kids, because they truly were my brothers. That being said, Flake sure made that stance beyond difficult with the new persona he adopted once we hit our teenage years. It seems like everybody's adopted a new persona. Why do you get to change personas but Flake doesn't? Leave that beard alone, maybe. I might take that right back. I don't know why, but Flake started acting like a complete goon. But I blame cringe, early 2000s Newgrounds animations like Foamy the Squirrel and Happy Tree Friends. Oh, Happy Tree Friends. God damn, that's a throwback. He started wearing all black every day, with tacky spiked armbands or sweatbands adorned with pentagrams and anarchy symbols on his wrists. And my God, they were so dirty that they changed colors and made the skin under them damp and 10 shades more pale. All his shirts were either Slipknot tees or those button-up shirts with the skulls and flames. Basically, just the worst picks out of a Hot Topic catalog. I could honestly deal with his awful fashion choices. Most of us had cringe fashion back in the MySpace days, but it was his over-the-top, fake, edgy personality that really drove me up the wall. OP sitting there describing Newgrounds and Hot Topic dress, and I'm just like, is this story about me right now? This was totally me fresh into high school before I really found myself, which I think that's what Flake is trying to do. Just find himself. He deserves a fresh start, OP. Give me a break. Although, I might take it back when we find out just how edgy he is. He would spend class with these awful fake psychotic scowls on his face, interrupting teachers by making some completely unrelated comment about how much he liked fire, or knives, or swords. Okay, I take it back. Sometimes following all that up with some stupid, crazy laugh that just sounded like a witch's cackle. One time, a teacher that had a very low tolerance for class clowns rolled their eyes at him and said very sarcastically, "Okay, Flake, calm down. I'm starting to get totally scared." To which Flake replied, "You should be," with a self-satisfied smirk. He doesn't know what sarcasm is. Our second year, some poor new teacher who didn't know better sent him to the guidance counselor out of pure concern, which Flake wore as a badge of honor, saying that he freaked out a teacher so bad they sent me to the crazy doctor. This poor fucking kid. The absolute worst was before class, when everyone was talking and joking with each other, and out of nowhere, Flake would yell, "Be quiet! I can't hear the voices in my head!" as a sad bid for attention. Jesus Christ, dude. If this guy was any more transparent, nobody could see him. Like all neckbeards, his hygiene was questionable. And when he wasn't clawing for attention, he would spend class vigorously scratching thick flakes of dandruff onto a folder. Ugh. And then blowing it out into the open air once he had amassed a sizable pile. Oh no! That is so foul. People are gonna breathe that in, you know? Ugh. At assemblies, he would sit behind people he didn't like on the bleachers and lean over to sneakily shower them in his blizzard of dandruff. Oh God, dude, I hate this. I don't know why it gets to me so much. I mean, yes, I do. It's disgusting. He also had a redhead obsession, and any girl with even remotely reddish hair would be in his crosshairs. A few of them were too nice to tell him off, and he would stay absolutely glued to them, trying to play the long game of winning their attraction as a friend. He would physically hang off of them in long, uncomfortable hugs, saying, "Best friend," in a voice not unlike Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. Best friend! Something like that. This made all of their boyfriends uncomfortable, and over the years, I had to use my clout to convince more than one of them to not kick his ass, because he was harmless and posed less than zero threat. OP out here flexing his high school clout. Give this man a round of applause. He saved a beard from getting his ass kicked. Honestly, this kid should have his ass kicked. Not necessarily for the weird hugs that lasted too long from girls who were too polite to say no, but mostly because of the dandruff showers. I really can't get over that. It's gonna haunt my nightmares. By the end of year 2, sophomore year had rolled around, and I was hanging out with people from neighboring schools as well. and decided that I'd try introducing some of them to Flake. Bro. His obnoxious persona was non-existent outside of school when there wasn't a crowd, and I thought that maybe he could get some friends who didn't know him as an edgy tryhard with weaponized dandruff. Ah, boy, was I wrong. As soon as they showed up, it was lights, camera, crazy! I think he's only good in a one-on-one setting with people that he's not, like, trying to impress or something like that. I tried keeping conversation non-controversial, so he didn't have any opportunity to be weird. But even talking about music, he steered the conversation towards Slipknot and how, the music about people being shit and being alone and full of anger spoke to him. I'm gonna create my own opportunities to be weird. The cherry on top was when he pulled out a bottle of prescription pills, showing off the black and yellow capsules before saying, "Hold up, I gotta take my crazy pills. They make sure that I don't lose it and do something fucked up." Those were acne pills. I knew because I was prescribed the exact same kind. To this day, I still wonder if maybe I should have just let him have his moment, but I was so tired of his performance. I went, "Flake, come on, dude. Those are pills for acne." I take the exact same ones. His cocky smirk instantly vanished, and he stuttered out some excuse about, "We must have gotten the bottles mixed up." I can't remember the rest of the hangout. I was too mortified, but I know that he never saw those people again. It feels to me kind of like OP's just shitting on this beardo in front of other people to try and work on that good old high school clout, doesn't it? I don't know, man. I got some thoughts on this. We'll get to it later. The summer between years 2 and 3, all my questions about what had happened to Flake were suddenly answered when Flake's friend, who was normally only in town for the summer, that I had also never met, moved here full-time. This dude, Crusher, was the Neckbeard. Top-tier cloud of stench, multiple chins, fedora, and the most edgy attitude, paired with an undeserved, "I'm better than everyone else" level of confidence, with a little bit of compulsive liar garnish. It was clear that for whatever reason, Flake idolized this fucking loser. Maybe it was because he was naive and believed Crush whenever he lied about knowing the members of any given metal band or having three-ways every weekend. Think Dermot from Venture Bros, only morbidly obese. He was the type who would never admit that he was full of shit. One time we played Smash Bros. Melee after he claimed to be a national champion, and the string of matches went like this.
"Okay, well, you only won because I went easy on you, and I didn't play my character."
Next match, he loses as his main.
"Well, you only won because you played a cheap character."
Marth, I guess? Play another match and let him literally pick my character. He picks Peach, and I still win. Should've picked Pichu, bro.
"Whatever. I don't have time to sit around playing Smash non-stop. It's no fun playing with tryhards."
Ironic. Whenever I would ask him to prove that he had all these music industry contacts or girlfriends, he'd say that
I was too untrustworthy to keep it on the down low.
And whenever I'd call him on his bullshit attitude, he'd just say,
I couldn't take a joke and was killing the vibe.
Oh, shouldn't have picked Smeagol voice. That's fucking me up. He called women
females
or
bitches,
depending on how he felt that day. And the only joy I ever got out of hanging out with him were the many times that he tried talking tough to the wrong person and turned into a whimpering puddle of spineless goo when they got into his face. The best being when he waddled off full on crying after someone cold-cocked him in the jaw for commenting on their girlfriend's breasts. Do you think he learned a lesson? Because I highly doubt that he learned any sort of lesson. The only reason I never backhanded the dude myself, ooh, tough guy OP, was that Flake always asked me to
just be cool and put up with him as a favor.
And despite how annoying and weird Flake was, he was still my friend, so I honored that request. I couldn't find a way to organically work it into the story, but the nickname Crusher came from his habit of causing whatever he sat on to break because of his girth. Quite literal, I suppose. Multiple friends lost lawn chairs to his fat ass, and one super unfortunate friend was never able to open the trunk of his car again after Crusher sat on it during a hangout where Flake dragged him along. Dude, that's... what? That's too ridiculous, dude. If you're gonna be this big, then at least be aware that you're this big. And maybe don't sit on people's cars. Thankfully, by the end of the first semester, the school found out that Crusher's mom had lied about his address, and he was shipped off to another school district to terrorize more people, and I never saw him again. So there you have it. How I met the Omega Neckbeard, and how he turned my childhood friend into a near insufferable edgelord. If Flake was Darth Vader, then Crusher was indeed Emperor Palpatine. I lost touch with Flake after high school, but according to his social media, it looks like he finally got rid of Crusher, cleaned up his life, and even has a wife and kids now. If you guys like this one, I got plenty more. My school had some real beardy winners. Or beardy wieners, as OP from the Kaiju Beard posts had theorized yesterday. So the relationship between Flake and Crusher, like, okay, cool, whatever, I totally buy it. But what I'm more interested in is the relationship between Flake and OP. Did OP actually have a glow up and become a popular kid and not shuffle Flake off because he's just such a good guy that he couldn't leave behind his friends? Or is it possible that it's similar to a situation I saw on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where Dennis is walking around calling himself a golden god, and all the other people at high school were like, yeah, you were a loser, bro. You're hanging out with a bunch of losers. Nobody even liked you. There's only about 2 or 3 points in the story where the OP humble brags, but even one humble brag is enough for me to turn the whole thing around and be like, yeah, I'm not enjoying this anymore, and you're gonna suffer right along with me. So yeah, Flake seems to be an asshole. Crusher seems to be an even bigger asshole. And OP, I'm sort of undecided about. I do lean towards asshole because the situation with the pills for acne or whatever and you calling him out in front of all these other people does show what you're really like as a person and not necessarily the face that you're trying to present to Reddit. Although I might be theorizing too much about it, going a little hard on the OP. Overall, I think it was a pretty enjoyable story. I do hope now that Flake is not as beardy as he was, that you might reach out to him at some point and create some new memories that are fresh, better. Maybe you could share those with us as well. But I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you'll like, comment, and or subscribe. If you did, maybe share it around. That's a super cool thing to do. We got a bunch of links in the description, all kinds of plugs, and also my social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Discord. Come and join me. And of course, also my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. I'd like to thank them as I do every video, so thank you very much. Calvicus, Fatboy Shrimp, Robert Waits, TSM Kirby, Aaron W, Twisted Child, Delicious Jelly Donut, Candy Sora, Fire Drake, Livison, Mr. Anime Manga Fan, Silent Revolver, Zero MX, Magdalene Marshall Thornrose, Little Lone Wolf, Vanilla Mel, Rouse Tower, Satori, Babs Coon, Caustic Fox, Disposable Waifu, Aaron Lennox, Fisher Dicky, Hadrian BR, Heathcliff, OG James Cook, A Pimp Named Jay Crisp, JM Coon, Jerry, John Hero, Miss Monday, Lord Lionel, Jackets Rule, Melgar the Destroyer, Mirthful Baker, Mr. J, my boy Nat One Nick, Lady Nick, Origami Steve, Katykins and Elizabeth, Sidestep, Cider Drinker, Serrated Ash, Siegfried, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Tato Ferret, Teddy the Police, 10-Ton Monster, That Duck and Bug, The One True Fusky, Treeberg, Wilmax, Redwind, Goose Says Honk, Leon Embers, Naga Viper, John Endors, A Normal Joe, Amira, A Roxers, Cake, Jerry, that's a different Jerry, Cinnamon Bunny Dog, KJW, Kajow, Crafty Kitty Cat, Little Ann Woods, Mark 211, Maybe Next Time, Milkfed Gimp, Miss Duchess, Origami Cam, Princess Rosalie, Ghosty, Raptor Art Ellie, The Last Shinobi, and the Necrobomicon. And thank you very much to our newest patron, Blue Lagan. I hope some other folks will consider joining up on the Patreon, but if you can't do it right now, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you'll need to keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe watching some more ReddX videos? Yeah. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one, and until then, friends, bye-bye.